What's up, YouTube? This GW Transport. Give you guys a little update. How everybody doing out there? I hope the trucking game's been good to you, at least paying your bills. Things been going pretty good with me. The Creator in heaven is with me through his son, through Christ's blood. I'm sitting up here in Tulsa. Oh, I left Valdosta Coast. I deadheaded it all the way up to Little Rock to pull a load. It was a good paying load. Even with the deadhead, with the 300-mile deadhead factored in, it's still $2 a mile. So it's still a good load, even with the deadhead. To go to Fort Worth. So I got a load to drop in Fort Worth right now. Where was I? I picked this load up this morning up in Little Rock. Got about 45 miles down the road. Well, first I had to fix something on the trailer. You know, I had to fix something on the trailer. It was a real quick fix. Something that probably would have took. I fixed it right there when I picked the trailer up. That way I wouldn't have to go to a shop somewhere. It was something real simple, you know. I was looking around. Usually there's a piece of wire laying around. The wire would have held it until I dropped it and somebody fixed it. You know, so, but there was no wire laying around to fix it. I actually took a bolt. Mud flaps have 4 bolts. I took a bolt out of a mud flap and fixed what I needed to have fixed. That's way I wouldn't have to go to the shop. So I got that fixed up. Grabbed the trailer. Checked over everything, got everything ready. Wrote up the trailer that I dropped. It's real easy to write up a trailer. You can write up a trailer and a vendor come out and pick it. You can drop it, a vendor come out and fix it before anybody uses it, you know. Had a few holes in the floor. A vendor come out, put some floor putty on the floor. I forgot what they call that stuff they use in the trailer shop. Smooth it over. It'll be okay. Or bring some wood out and fix it or whatever. Got down the road. Cranked my truck up. My check engine light came on. So I was like, oh, Lord, my check engine light is on. I was worried. I was like, what the hell is this? I knew I had a tight load. I was running. I didn't even, you know, I was kind of upset and pissed off. I didn't even care no more. I was just running because my check engine light was on. I wasn't worried about no fuel. I was more worried about breaking down. I did stop. I checked my coolant level was high. My oil level was high. That's all I was worried about. The truck wasn't going into D-rate or anything like that. Just a check engine light. Check your oil and your coolant. Check. That's the main things that you have to check. Make sure they are full, you know. And I Googled to see. I checked went into my dash, found out what the check engine light was, and I Googled it and found it out. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about, you know, how you feel when your check engine light comes on. For owner-operator, most of us, you don't know what to do. It's the end of the world. It's time to come out the bank. For a new owner-operator like me, I don't want to see no check engine light. You know, my truck's been rolling pretty good. I was really worried. I said, so now what I'm going to do if it's a big fix? What am I going to do? I had just got through talking about getting an oil change changing my oil and greasing my truck when I got back, and now my check engine light wants to come on. So I'm like, what am I going to do if it's a major repair? I got a nice Camaro car. I'm going to have to sell my Camaro or take a loan out or something and keep rolling. Or just sell the damn truck and go back to working for the company. You think about things like that when your check engine light comes on and you don't know what's going on. And that's what I thought about. And I put the pedal down too. Shit, if it was going to break down, I wanted to go ahead and break down. I wasn't worried about gas. Shit, I would put the pedal down. Shit. And I also thought about if the truck went into D-rate or anything like that, you know, you could pull the ABS fuse in your fuse box. And and you pull your ABS fuse, the truck won't be able to, they say, I ain't never tested it, but I heard you can pull the ABS fuse in your fuse box and the truck won't go into, it won't slow down. It might think it's going into D-rate, but you'll still be able to move. And you won't get the truck won't slow down. Basically, you can still go as fast as you want. They also say pulling the speed sensor. Speed sensors, I know they used to be, I think they still are on the output yoke of the transmission. There's a speed sensor in there. There's this little thing. There's a magnet wheel around the back of the yoke, and there's this little sensor. There's this little sensor reading it from the top. They say you unplug that too, the speed sensor. Then if the truck goes in a D-rate, it won't be able to read how fast you're going, so you can go fast as you want. That's what they say. So that's things you guys go in a D-rate, you can try if you want. Do it at your own risk. Don't blame me. You know, don't come and be, oh, this and this happened to my truck. They sound like good ideas. It shouldn't nothing bad happen, but you know, these shops, these shops don't like the video that I have about how to get your truck out of D-rate, you know. So they don't like that. They say, oh, you can't tell drivers to do that or whatnot and all this here type of stuff. Well, that's what I did in the shop. So this is just my opinion, you know. I don't own no shop. This is my opinion. You do this stuff at your own risk. But this stuff works. But anyway. Yeah, so I Google the fault code on my truck. Well, first I'm gonna tell you, I had some guy tell me. He said, "Oh, I revved my truck up to 2,000 RPM and it blew up or whatnot." And that guy, if the truck blew up, something was wrong with the truck already. You know, when you going down a mountain or a hill and you have and you downshift your truck, it can go up to 2,000 RPM on its own. So if that happened to your truck, something was wrong with it already. So, and I do it all the time, and I ain't never had no trouble. Something was wrong with your, but I believe what really is it. That was a shop that just don't like the video. You know, I got 50, 60,000 views on that, how to get your truck out of D-rate, and a lot of people, that video has helped a lot of people, you know, and I think a lot of shops don't like that video, so they'll do and say anything that they can to get me to take that video down. I run my truck up to 2,000 RPM. I don't have any trouble. I ain't had any trouble out of it, you know. I used to drive 10-speed trucks, you know, you going down a mountain or something, or you going down a mountain and you downshift, you know, you can go up to 2,000 RPM. When you climbing a hill and you're driving a standard shift and you have to downshift, You rev the engine up to sink the gears to put it in a lower gear. You know? So that was just somebody that wanted me to take the video down. Anyway, I looked up the check engine light code that was on my truck in the ECU, engine control module. It was SA16 DTC PT, I guess that's 20EE00. Low NOx catalyst conversion efficiency, indicating the after treatment system isn't effectively reducing nitrogen oxides, often due to poor diesel exhaust fluid DEF quality, clogged components, DEF injector SCR catalyst DPF, faulty NOx sensors, or incorrect software, leading to emissions issues and potential engine derates. Troubleshooting involves checking DEF quality and level, inspecting sensors and injectors for clogs, running diagnostics with PTT software, and potentially replacing components like the SCR box or DPF. I'm going to scroll down. It says common causes of this fault code. The first thing that they say is when troubleshooting is diesel exhaust fluid DEF issues, poor quality, low level, or contaminated DEF. And then clogged components, sensor faults, system malfunctions, and then engine software. So what did I do? Well, first thing I did was went to my cheat code for the DEF system. It said NOx sensor indicating after treatment isn't effectively reducing nitrogen oxides. I went to my cheat code. Hell, I parked this truck. I revved it up for about 1,800 to 2,000 RPM. I revved this bitch up to 2,000 RPM for about 5 minutes. I also went in there and bought me the premium, the most expensive DEF fluid I could find, and I put in the truck. What it cost me, $24 for 2.5 gallons. Now, the DEF on the pump costs what, $4 and something for 2.5 gallons? What's that? $4, that's $8. That's about $10 for 2.5 gallons. Okay, so bulk DEF is cheaper than the DEF in the box. But I always say, nobody trying to give you anything for free. You know, it costs money to make things. You know, bulk, you get things cheaper. I understand bulk is cheaper than individual, but you know, the same bologna has different ingredients than roast beef. Bologna been stepped on. Roast beef ain't. Roast beef costs more. It's high quality. Now, how good is the bulk DEF at the diesel pump compared to the one in the box? I don't know. But I always have wondered why I see drivers buying box DEF out of the store instead of getting it at the pump. It's cheaper at the pump. And I said to myself, these drivers been having problem with DEF fluid. Check engine codes. They done took their truck to the shop and a mechanic and told them that they had bad diesel exhaust fluid in their tank. Maybe it had water in it or something, you know. Sometimes people get the codes to say there's diesel in their DEF. How do you get diesel in your DEF fluid? You mistakenly put the when you filling up the fuel nozzle in your DEF tank, or the guy driving a tanker truck accidentally put diesel in the DEF. I've heard of that too. This is the first time I've ever had any trouble out of DEF. You know, where was I at when I got that DEF? I was in Missouri somewhere when I filled up. I'm gonna continue to get DEF from the pump because it's cheaper. But I got the premium. I got a it cost me $25 with tax, 2.5 gallons, and put it in there. I disconnect my batteries to reset the ECM. I disconnected the negative side of my batteries to reset the ECM at the pump. I pull up to the pump, wasn't nobody at the pump. I opened my battery box, I disconnected the batteries. I went in there to the bathroom, took me a dump, cleaned myself up, made sure I had that toilet flush. Shit, I got in an argument about a guy going in there behind me. I flushed the toilet several times, but the last flush, I didn't flush it. Wasn't nothing in there but paper, but hell, shit, we got in an argument about that. So, I'm too ashamed to put that video on. I ain't gonna put that video up. But anyway, when I got through doing my business in the bathroom, reconnected my batteries, cranked the truck up, the light was on, stayed on for about 5 seconds, and went out. I have driven about 200 miles since then. The light is still out. No more check engine light. Now, what was the check engine light due to? The fault code happened one time. And I don't know how long it'll stay on your truck. Will it go? It'll probably go away later. It happened twice. And it didn't happen again. Me putting that pure $25 premium DEF in the DEF tank, it probably helped with that watered down DEF. They might have had some water in that DEF, you know, to make it stretch, you know, at the pump. You know, they might have, I don't know. I put that premium DEF down off up in there, and I also revved my truck up 2,000 RPM for about 5 minutes too. And all I know, and then I disconnected my negative cables. They was disconnected probably about 10 minutes. It took me about 10 minutes in that bathroom and reconnected them. My check engine's lights out. It's been out for 200 miles. Thank the Creator in heaven. I don't have to sell my Camaro. I don't have to sell this truck. I can keep on trucking. You know. It wasn't no major repair. So everything going okay with GW Transport. Everybody out there, have a blessed night. I got to take a nap because I got a hot load I got to deliver. I got to get in the bed, take a nap. I'll holler at y'all later.